Welcome back to Financial Strategies with Andrew Adjemi in Connecticut and Daniel Adjemi in Colorado.
So I hear people say a lot of times, well, I like to have money that I can access, right? I like to be able to touch, to feel that, to know I can walk into a bank and get some money. And what people don't realize a lot of times is the opportunity cost that they're giving up, right? People don't understand mathematical numbers and equations. And what you have to always look at is risk and return, or risk adjusted return. So, for an example of this, I know a guy that decided he didn't want to have any money sitting in the bank. He would rather build one of these cash value policies where he could put money aside, and then when he needed it in the future, there'd be cash on the sidelines for buying opportunities. Not only does it do that, but it gives you that protection, right? That insurability locked in, where when he decides, okay, I want to start a family and do all this, they have that protection, that death benefit that you were talking about earlier, where Rhonda was taken care of even better in her husband's death than would have happened,
Right.
at least financially,
Right.
than if he was still alive. I'm
Right.
Daniel Adjemi.
And I'm Andrew Adjemi, and you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjemi. Welcome back. And today's topic is widows and orphans. Daniel, that is, appreciate you saying that story there. And, this is real interesting because from the standpoint of a widows and orphans standpoint, we're talking about how life insurance can help protect widows and putting that in place before they become widows. But we don't want them to become widows. We don't want bad things to happen to good people, but unfortunately, that's one of the laws of nature is bad things happen to good people. And so then as a result of that, if you're prepared for whether life or for death, that's the best of both worlds.
Right. We're about mitigating the downside, right? What are your risks? And then how can you protect yourself against those risks? And we're talking especially about, the death insurance and the cash value today, but that's with all types of investments, right? You want to
Right.
be able to benefit from chaos. You want to be able to benefit from negative things happening. And that's what we've been able to do in the last market crashes, right? Is help our clients benefit from the
Right.
chaos. Now, you don't want to bet on chaos happening so you can benefit. So you have to have that balance. But if you're invested properly, then you're able to benefit when bad things happen, so that you're protecting yourself, because you don't want to be in a situation where the world's falling apart around you and you don't have that life raft.
Right. Invested properly. I like those words that you said, invested properly. And that's one of the things that here at Financial Strategies we're all about with people. That's why our company, Adjemi Financial Strategies, is called Adjemi Financial Strategies. It's about the strategies more than the investments. It's about how you invest more than what you invest in. Because if you're got the how together properly, then the what is going to follow suit. You agree?
Yeah. And that gets right back to that story with the guy, right, who set up the cash value insurance so that for the future he could take care of his future family,
Yep.
have money on the sidelines actually earning something, because people would say, well, if you could earn 10 times what the bank earns, why doesn't everybody do that? Well, you have to be patient, right? Because
Right.
it takes a while before those gains start coming in.
Right.
But while it was doing that, he saw an opportunity of a lifetime of buying Bitcoin, right, at
Yeah.
$7,000 a coin. Today, what is it trading at? $57,000 a coin, and
Yeah.
took money out of that account,
Yeah.
put it into the Bitcoin. So just because you're protecting yourself doesn't mean you have to give up growth
Right.
potential, doesn't mean you have to give up on all the opportunities that present themselves.
Optionality, right?
Optionality.
Optionality. And the one thing that you didn't say about that gentleman, that was so great was not only did he do Bitcoin, but prior to Bitcoin, if my memory serves me properly, he bought a stock that went crazy as well, right? So he took this money that was in his life insurance policy, he bought a stock, the stock went crazy. He sold the stock, put the money back in his life insurance policy. Now he had the money in the life insurance policy and had the stock. And then he took money out of the life insurance policy again and bought Bitcoin with it. So now he's got Bitcoin, he's got the stock, and I'm guessing he's either put back the money back in his life insurance policy or is about to, or something along those lines from that standpoint. So he has just, magnified his portfolio, and it all started with a firm foundation in a permanent life insurance policy, one for his benefit. Of course, it will help he's going to be married soon. And with that will help his wife, right? Should he pass away, but we don't want that, but he's building this portfolio nicely, right?
Right. That's exactly what we're talking about. The product doesn't matter, but this is planning ahead to benefit from chaos and to give your whoever is that important to you, the children, the special needs trust, the spouse, these kinds of things, because we live in an uncertain world, and the volatility, the craziness is just getting more and more all the time. So you have to get creative. We talk about this a lot, and look at different avenues, things that you may think are quirky. That doesn't mean you have to choose it, but you need to look into these. Some people will say, no, 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 Bitcoin is not for me, right? But other people who have participated in that now have the optionality to say, all right, I 5x, I 10x my money. Now I'm gonna take out of that and go into another thing. So it's about using these different types of strategies to benefit from the chaos.
Yes, exactly. If you've just joined us, you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjemi. Today's topic is widows and orphans, making sure that you're prepared in the worst case scenario, take care of those that are left behind. Today's piece that we're giving away today's show is 10 estate planning mistakes to avoid. 10 estate planning mistakes to avoid. We love to put that in your hand. Call Megan at 800-725-7616. She'll be glad to get it to you. Ask her for the estate planning guide. 10 estate planning mistakes to avoid. 800-725-7616. You're listening to Financial Strategies. Today's topic, widows and orphans.
Yeah, Dad, when we're talking about, you have to compare things to the right risk return rewards, right? So I had somebody call up and they said, hey, I earned 6.5% on my account, and I'm not super thrilled about that because in my 401k I did 14%. And I looked at the 401k and I said, ooh, you're taking on some serious risk with this money. On our risky portfolio, we did multiples of that, right? Multiples. So was that a good deal? Was the 14% good? No, not for the risk you're taking. That may sound like good, but if the chaos happens, if the negative things happen, if the Fed doesn't bail you out again,
Right.
then that gain, right? It turns into an L. It turns into a loss, right? And
Right.
so you can't just compare this number to this number. You have to look at the risk behind them. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about mitigating the risk, right?
Right. Right. Exactly. And, investing properly, as you said earlier with that. And, when we're talking about investing property, we've been talking about this idea about life insurance. And one of the things that I've seen happen with life insurance, and why, I've talked to, and I have clients who, in their 50s, their kids are growing and they say, I don't need life insurance anymore. And I look at their financial program, the retirement plan, I realize, well, you know what? If one of you passes away, you're dependent upon the other one. And while you're both alive, you're using both your incomes to put the money away so that you can have the retirement that you want to have. And if one of you passes away, the other is going to not be able to retire the way that they want to retire. So we have put in place life insurance so that whoever the survivor is, would be okay in the event of death if they didn't make it to retirement. Now, these particular people that I'm thinking of, they've reached retirement. They're both still alive, but you know what? They ended up buying a house in Florida, and wanted to keep the life insurance in place so that the house get should one die, the house would be able to be paid off, and everything's moving forward. And so it worked well. They planned for the worst, but hoped for the best. And so far, in their case, the best has happened. But that's one of the reasons why sometimes people need life insurance or death benefit, as well as should to make sure that the plan that you put in place is that you're able to reach that. Because I know a lot of people, once they reach their 50s, don't have the money they thought they were going to have in their 50s for retirement. And so that's a way to be able to plan for that. Well, it's coming up time for us to take another break, and you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Danielle Adjemi. Today's topic is widows and orphans. The piece that we're giving away today is 10 estate planning mistakes to avoid. 10 estate planning mistakes to avoid. Ask for the estate planning guide when you call Megan at 800-725-7616. We also have the book by John Moriarty, specially designed life insurance contracts. This is going to be able to help you to be able to understand life insurance and permanent life insurance in a way that you've never had before. This is not your father's life insurance plan. So this is available by calling 800-725-7616. What I ask in return for that is 10 minutes to talk with you once you've read the book. So talk with Megan at 800-725-7616 and get your copy today. We'll be right back after this.
I'm David Scranton, founder of the Retirement Income Store. If you're in or near retirement, are you certain you have the right retirement plan in place? Do you want to help ensure your nest egg will last you all throughout retirement? Take our retirement review quiz and find out in 5 minutes or less if you're doing everything you can to achieve a more successful retirement.
Visit us online at adjemi.com. That's AGEMY.com.